Shalom, shalom, shalom. Happy Sabbath and welcome back to another DSTM sit down, right? Today's lesson is entitled Emotional Men, Untouchable Women. Emotional Men, Untouchable Women. It's going to be a two-part lesson due to the time frame. I like to keep the lessons kind of compacted together so we won't prolong y'all, right? So, first, we're going to open up with Ezekiel 3:17.
You got it.
Ezekiel 3:17. Shalom, you got to read it.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
So, we're supposed to warn the people. Warn the people of what's to come. Warn the people about breaking the law, statutes, and commandments and the severity of it and the consequences about it, right? Read.
Verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand.
So we here what? As the messengers to get the blood off our hands. Read.
Verse 19, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul.
So if you don't turn when you hear these laws, statutes, and commandments coming out, right, you're going to die. But we, the messengers, delivered our soul, right? Give me Malachi 2:7. The book of Malachi 2, verse 7. Whoever get it first, read. Because they want to, people, hey, why do you call this DSTM? Don't shoot the messenger, right? We're going to read it for you. You got it? Read it.
All right, good. Malachi chapter 2, verse 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth. For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts.
He is the what?
For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts.
Welcome. Don't shoot the messenger, right? The priests are the messengers of the Lord of hosts, right? And who are the priests? We are the priests according to 1 Peter 2:9. Okay? So, let's get back to the lesson, right? Look up the word emotional definition. And I just want some of them similar words too once you get it. Because as so-called black men or African Americans or Afro Americans or whatever that whichever one you want to subscribe to that your oppressors gave you, we don't subscribe to that. We are the Israelites. But over here in the Western world, they say that we can't, as men, so-called black men, we can't be emotional. We are taught not to be emotional. That we just supposed to take everything and anything that happens to us. But our forefathers was emotional, right? The disciples, the apostles was emotional, right? Christ, emotional, right? The Most High God, emotional. And we're going to read you these today, okay? Give me the definition of emotion.
Emotional, relating to a person's emotions. Here go the synonyms. Spiritual, inner, psychic.
Stop. Spiritual, inner, psychic. That's something we all have. Why? Because the man was created in God's image and the one man was created out of us. You understand? So we are going to be emotional. Is what? Is spiritual?
Spiritual, inner,
psychic, and psychic. So these all the things that we have in these flesh bodies. And we're going to show you also spiritual beings, the spiritual being, the celestial being, the Most High God, right? Also carry these traits, right? Read.
All right.
Some of the synonyms.
Synonyms.
Or similar, what you read the other day.
All right. Moving, touching, powerful.
Read.
Soul stirring, Dramatic.
We're going to show you that the brothers, especially out here doing the work, are very dramatic. Okay? Read.
Over sentimental.
Over sentimental. We can cry loud. Like you say, we're going to bring that out. We can get over sentimental. Especially when we are passionate. And that's one of the synonyms also about what we do, right? Read.
Sensitive.
We can get very sensitive. You know, the black woman here, oh, you so sensitive. You so emotional. Right? This is one of many of the characteristics of being emotional. We just supposed to be robots. We're not supposed to show I'm talking about the black man. We're not supposed to show any kind of anything. We're just supposed to sit here and take whatever that's being taught and told to us. But Christ himself was an austere man. He was very serious and he didn't play. We're going to read that. Read.
Uplifting.
We supposed to uplift our people. Right? Read.
Controversial.
What? About the Bible. Things in the Bible. Okay? It's a controversy. They say that we are Christians. They say that Christ is a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. That's a controversy. We say otherwise according to the scriptures. According to Revelations 1:14-15. You understand? Read.
Impassioned.
We're very passionate, like I spoke of. Read.
Contentious.
We're going to contend for this word. We're going to contend and set our households in order when our wives get out of line. Read.
Problematic.
It can get that way, right? Read.
All right, it's going deeper.
Okay, so those are some of the similar words of emotional. Give me Isaiah 58:1. Isaiah 58:1. Because we gotta nip it in the bud, man. You got it, Zion, read it.
All right, Isaiah chapter 58, verse 1. Cry aloud.
Do what?
Cry aloud.
Cry aloud. Read.
Spare not.
Spare not. So when we get to crying aloud, spare not. Oh, you emotional. No. The Lord said, cry aloud, spare not, read.
Lift up thy voice like a trumpet.
You're supposed to lift up your voice like a trumpet and not be docile. Okay? You're supposed to rebuke thy neighbor, right? You're supposed to rebuke your wife when she get out of order, right? You're supposed to rebuke these heathens out here once they come in and trying to tell you some otherwise that's outside of these scriptures. You understand? Read.
And show my people their transgression.
Read.
And the house of Jacob their sins.
That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to do that in the house, out the house. You understand? So these are the things that we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to be, so timid and so weak. And no, that's the man they want you to be over here in the Western world. But we going back into order. Back into where we belong, and that's on top. The gods of this earth. Right? Y'all don't forget that. Give me Leviticus 19:17. Y'all can't forget that, brothers and sisters. Chiefly brothers, right? You got it, read it.
The book of Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
We supposed to rebuke thy neighbor. Rebuke thy neighbor. And do what?
And not suffer sin upon him.
Okay? That's what we supposed to do. We supposed to rebuke, reprove, correct. All right? Give me that definition of rebuke. And some of the symbols. Because, hey, we got to get out of that. You know, I know over here in the Western world, They teach you when the black woman get loud or exhort her voice, you supposed to be quiet or you're going to be in the doghouse. That's not happening. Them days are over. We're going to check you according to the scriptures, right? If you don't like it, hey, kick rocks. That's how we doing it. This is how we doing it. The Lord can't use no weak, soft, and feminine men. He can't use you. Give me that definition.
Rebuke. Express sharp disapproval or criticism of someone.
Read that again.
Express sharp disapproval.
Stop. Express sharp disapproval. So when we read about rebuke over here in Leviticus 19:17, we supposed to do it sharply. And we supposed to express the disapproval. Disapproval of what? What they doing against the Most High God. Right? Read.
Or criticism.
Or criticism. We supposed to criticize. Right? Read.
Of someone because of their behavior or actions.
So we're going to criticize you because of your behavior and your actions. You're going to be criticized for it. We're going to rebuke you. All right? Read.
Reprimand.
Reprimand. When we rebuke, we reprimand and you. Read.
Reproach.
Reproach. Read.
Scold.
Scold. We're going to scold you. That's what's going to happen. We're going to be emotional and tell you these things. And then you might get emotional, right? And come out your body. But we're going to be emotional and show you these things, right? With the definition of emotional. We just read it. It's a spiritual thing. We're going to correct you. All right? Read.
Admonish.
Admonish.
Reprove.
Reprove.
Chastise.
Chastise. Chastise. We're going to chastise you. Especially you children that's out of line. We ain't sparing a ride. You're going to be chastised. Read.
Pull up.
We're going to pull up on you. When we rebuke you, we're going to pull up. We might pull up on you and rebuke you. Like these rappers be saying, hey man, I'm going to pull up. Give me some more.
Upbraid.
Uh-huh.
Castigate.
Castigate. Uh-huh.
Lambast.
Give me some of the more familiar ones.
All right.
See any more up under there?
We said criticize.
Mm-hmm.
Tell off.
There you go. Tell off. It's more in there.
Now it goes down into
Tell off. It was another one similar to tell off. Like give them a mouthful, an earful, or you don't see none of them.
Give someone hell.
Give someone hell. We're gonna give you hell. We're gonna tear you off. You're gonna get cussed out. So, oh, you emotional because you didn't raise your voice and you cussed out some people and you didn't say some cuss words. You know, hey, Christ called a woman a dog. Stop being so sensitive, man. Take the rebuke and the correction. All right? Stop being so soft. And I understand, women are feminine and you weak and all that, but don't switch it around on us saying we emotional because we rebuking your ass. We not doing that. Okay? That's all I wanted on that. All right. Give me Numbers 12, verse 3. Numbers 12, verse 3. Whoever got it first, read it.
I got it. All right, Numbers chapter 12, verse 3. Now the man Moses was very meek.
The man Moses was very meek. Very, very meek. Give me the definition of meek real quick. The biblical definition. That way I won't butcher it. Because some people think Moses was soft. But he was very, very meek.
Meek. To be quiet, gentle, and easily imposed on. Submissive.
Okay, so He was quiet and gentle, but he wasn't soft. He was submissive. That means he was going to do what the Lord said. He was going to give it his all to do what the Lord told him to do. Give me some of them similars.
Patient. Long suffering. Gentle. Quiet.
Peaceable.
Mild. Modest.
Stop. So go back to Numbers 12, verse 3. Read from the top.
And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses. Verse 3.
Verse 3.
Now the man Moses was very meek.
He was very meek. Very meek. Read.
Above all the men which were upon the face of the earth.
So he was the meekest person upon all the men of the face of the earth. So that's why the Lord felt like he can use Moses. You understand? That's why he did use Moses. Okay? So y'all just keep that in mind. Jump to Numbers 20. Jump to Numbers 20 real quick. Because I'm going to show you how our forefathers was emotional. You got to shout and read it.
Numbers 20 verse what?
Verse 1.
The book of Numbers chapter 20 verse 1. Then came the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, into the desert of Zin in the first month. And the people abode in Kadesh, and Miriam died there and was buried there.
Stop. We're going to get into Miriam on untouchable women. Because a lot of you women think you are untouchable. Thinking the Most High don't do physical things to you. But we're going to say that for the second half of this lesson. Read.
Verse 2. And there was no water for the congregation, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. And the people chode with Moses and spake, saying, Would God that we had died when our brethren died before the Lord?
So chode, people was angry and very mad at Moses. That's what chode is going into, right? Would God that we have died with our brethren died before the Lord? Read that again, what you just read.
And the people chode with Moses and spake, saying, Would God that we had died when our brethren died before the Lord?
So they was complaining, right? They was complaining because we was catching hell in the wilderness, but we wouldn't wait on the Lord. They was complaining. They was missing Egypt, missing all the, the meat and the leeks and all the food that they had in the in Egypt before we made it into the wilderness, right? Continue.
And why have ye brought up the congregation of the Lord into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there?
So they complaining, right? Read.
And wherefore have ye made us to come up out of Egypt, to bring us in unto this evil place? It is no place of seed, or of figs, or of vines, or of pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink.
So they was very thirsty, they was hungry, right? And they was being very impatient, and they started murmuring and bickering and complaining, right? Continue.
And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto them.
Read.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take the rod, and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes.
Stop. So Moses was just supposed to speak to the rock. Okay? Read from the top of 8 again.
Take the rod, and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water. So
Moses was supposed to speak to the rock, and the water was supposed to come out the rock, right? Read.
And thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock, so thou shalt give the congregation and their beasts drink.
Okay, so read.
And Moses took the rod from before the Lord, and he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said unto them, Hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock?
So they just got instruction from the Lord. But guess what? Moses took the instruction and he was emotional. Yes, the meekest person of all the world got emotional. Just imagine the Lord giving you instructions. You know he was mad coming back down to the people because he was still upset. Right? Read.
Verse 11. And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice.
So he hit the rock twice. He hit the rock twice because he was already dealing with the people. He called them rebels. He said, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? So he was already upset. The Lord told him to speak to the rock, and he hit the rock twice. Bow, bow. Because he was emotional. So our forefathers get emotional. I'm showing you this. Emotional is a common thing. Being emotional is a common thing. And it's sometimes good, and it's sometimes bad. We're going to get that. Okay? Read.
And the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also.
Okay? And what verse you on?
That was the end of 11.
The end of 11. Okay, read. So the water came out, right? Read.
Verse 12. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, believe me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel? Therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them.
So by him hitting that rock, they couldn't go into the promised land. Because he got in his emotions. And when he did that, that was it. But my point is, man, you can be meek of all the earth. You understand? And you can still get snatched out the spirit like that. Okay? So, we are in these flesh bodies. We're supposed to be keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. But we are emotional, even men. Okay? Even men. So it cost Moses and Aaron the promised land. Okay? Let's move on. Give me John 18, verse 1. John 18, verse 1. I'm going to show you one of the apostles, right? And how emotional he got. You understand? You got that? Read.
The book of John, chapter 18, verse 1. And Jesus had spoken these words. He went forth. My bad. Let me restart that. The book of John, chapter 18, verse 1. When Jesus had spoken these words, he went forth with his disciples over the brook Cedron, where was a garden, into the which he entered and his disciples.
Okay, so Jesus entered into the garden, right? Read.
And Judas also, which betrayed him, knew the place, for Jesus oftentimes resorted thither with his disciples.
Read. So Jesus is with his disciples. So this is Christ rolling with his disciples, his followers. You understand? Read.
Judas then, having received a band of men and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees, cometh thither with lanterns and torches and weapons.
So Judas came, you already know what Judas did. He betrayed Christ. He betrayed his brethren. Read verse 3 again.
Judas then, having received a band of men and officers.
He came with an army, right? Read.
From chief priests and Pharisees.
Read.
Cometh thither with lanterns and torches and weapons.
So they came with lanterns, torches, and weapons, right? Read.
Jesus, therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said unto them, Whom seek ye?
Whom seek ye? Right? Which Christ already known, but hey, read.
They answered him, Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus said unto them, I am he. And Judas also, which betrayed him, stood with them.
He did what?
Stood with them.
which portrayed him, stood with them. Man, you know how they had to make the disciples feel, Christ feel, right? That portraying spirit is man, when you betray somebody, man, I'd rather be anything but to betray you. I'm not gonna betray my brothers and my sisters, man. I can't do it. And I know that Judas had to do this for the prophecy to be fulfilled, right? But I pray that the Most High never put that spirit on me. That betrayal spirit, right? Zion, hold that, okay? Shalom, give me Ecclesiastes 12 verse 8. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 8.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 8. A friend cannot be known in prosperity.
A friend ain't gonna be known in prosperity. You can't know. How you gonna know a friend when you're doing good? Okay, just like Judas. Okay, when they was out and they was walking with Christ, you know, it was all good. Okay, read.
A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity.
And an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. So Judas sold out Christ for 30 pieces of silver, right? And he couldn't be hidden at a time of adversity. He was sticking out like a sore thumb. He was standing with the Pharisees and the priests in the army that came to seize Christ, our black Messiah. So, just like here, okay, that traitor spirit is bad. There's nothing more hurtful than to see your loved ones on the other side of you, or moving and doing things in a time that you have not appointed for them to do it, and they just jump out there and do it anyway. That's that betrayal spirit. That's that impatient. And when you like that, you will sell your brothers out in the wilderness. You will sell your brethren out for 30 pieces of silver, because you don't roll, you're not rolling in the right spirit. You don't have that spirit of patience. Okay? You're not willing to wait on the Lord and what He have you do in the direction He wants you to go in that time appointed. So be mindful of that. Give me Proverbs 17:17. You got to be mindful of that, brothers. You got to be mindful of that. And whoever got it first, read it.
All right. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 17. A friend loveth at all times.
No, sometime.
At all times.
At all times. Right? Read it.
And a brother is born for adversity.
And a brother is born for adversity. So when you get in trouble, your brother is made, or sister is made to stick there with you in adversity. They are not going to run and they ain't going to leave. They're going to stick in there with you until, man, the wheels fall off. So you brothers got to be careful, and you sisters got to be careful of that Judas spirit, that traitor spirit, because it's a very painful and a hurtful thing to witness something like that. All right, let's go back. Give me on John 18:1 again. We're going to start at 1, but we're going to start where we left off. I'm going to find it. John 18:1. We stopped. Just give me start at 5 again.
Verse 5. They answered him, Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus saith unto them, I am he. And Judas also, which betrayed him.
Read.
Stood with them.
Right? Continue reading.
As soon then as he had said unto them, I am he, they went backward and fell to the ground.
They dropped to the ground. Read.
Then asked he them again, Whom seek ye? And they said, Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus answered, I have told you that I am he. If therefore ye seek me, let these go their way.
Let these go their way. He tried to get his disciples out the way. He's like, hey man, you want me? Let them go, right? Read.
All right, verse 9, that the saying might be fulfilled, which he spake, of them which thou gavest me have I lost none.
Read.
Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it, and smote the high priest's servants, and cut off his right ear.
So stop. So yeah, Simon Peter pulled a sword out and cut off the ear. Okay? He cut off, he smote and smote the high priest servant and cut off his right ear. Read.
The servant's name was Malchus.
Okay, so what happened? Peter got in his feelings. He got emotional. He got emotional and sliced his ear off, right? Read.
Verse 11, then said Jesus unto Peter, put up thy sword unto the sheath. The cup which my Father hath given me, shall I not drink it?
So Christ was like, hey man, put up that, right? Hey, I gotta go through this. I gotta sip on this cup. You understand? I gotta go through this trial and this tribulation, because ultimately I'm gonna have to die for our people. Okay? Read.
Then the band and the captain and officers and the Jews took Jesus and bound him and led him away to Annas first. And for he was father-in-law to Cephas, which was the high priest that same year.
Caiaphas, which was the high priest of that year. But that's all I wanted on that. All I wanted was verse 12. Okay? But I'm showing you that, hey, our forefathers also too can get emotional, right? The apostles, our disciples, Christ's disciples can get emotional. It's all written. So when they saying, oh, you can't get emotional, yeah, you can get emotional is a feeling. You feeling betrayed. You feeling, happy is the emotion. You feeling sad. It's a time and place for all these things. We're going to read that. It's a time to kill. It's a time for all these things, man. So when but here in America as a black man, we can't be emotional at all. So they program our women to say, oh, you stop, quiet down. You raising your voice. Oh, you so emotional. What do you mean? We just read in Isaiah 58:1, cry loud, spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgressions. So just be careful with that. I've been hit, oh, you emotional. People tell you that. It's from men that told me I was emotional. Man, we are emotional. We will get emotional, but it's all in how you handle yourself. Okay? You be mad, sin not. We're gonna bring that out though, too, right? Give me Matthew 26, verse 69. Just basic. I'm going over some basic stories that we all should know. Okay, we 33 minutes in.
You said Matthew 26, verse what?
69.
The book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 69. Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also was with Jesus of Galilee.
So Daniel was like, hey, Peter, you was with Jesus of Galilee. Read.
But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest.
Hey, man, I don't know what you saying. Not only is he emotional, he's lying. He's lying. Thou shalt not lie. You lying, bro. Right? Read.
And when he was going out into the porch, another maid saw him and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth.
Read.
And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man.
So he's getting emotional and he's saying, hey man, I don't know the man. Man, I promised to God, man. I do it. He throwing up the oaths. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, I don't know this man. Right? Read.
Verse 73. And after a while came unto him they that stood by and said to Peter, surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech bewrayeth thee.
Read.
Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew.
He started doing what?
And immediately the cock crew. My bad.
Start at verse 74.
Then began he to curse and to swear, saying,
He started cursing and swearing. He got emotional. So he was asked this 3 times and hide it until he started getting emotional, cursing and swearing. In altercations at home, in altercations in the congregation, and sometimes in altercations at work or wherever you at. Things going back and forth can get heated and you can get emotional. I'm showing you mighty men, prophets, apostles, people that was with Christ were emotional. They get emotional. It's still on how you handle yourself within your emotion. Okay, so you saying, oh, you emotional. Hey, he was like, hey, man, he started cursing. Like, man, hell no. Bloop, bloop, bloop. All right. So that's all I wanted on that. I just wanted to show y'all that, right? Give me 2 Samuel 11. You know, because, you know, we got to bring it out, man. 2 Samuel 11, man. That's what they do. They play, you know, in this Esau with his lieutenant, right? Esau and his right-hand man or one man. Okay, well, you really can't say man because normally they with the feminist movement, all right? They want to rule over a man. They tell it's passed down from Esau on down to her as if a man can't rule his house or he can't be exert his voice and lift up his voice and correct his wife, and he can't go out here and cry out loud, and he just can't do the work of the Most High. The black man is supposed to shh. That's when you most value, when you shh. Nah, that's not the mighty man of the Most High God. 2 Samuel 11, start at verse 1.
The book of 2 Samuel chapter 11 verse 1. And it came to pass, after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. But David tarried still at Jerusalem.
So we're going into the story of, David and Bathsheba. And if y'all familiar with the story, well, just keep reading. We'll let it unfold. Read.
Verse 2. And it came to pass in an evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself. And the woman was very beautiful to look upon.
She was very beautiful to look upon, right? Read.
And David sent and inquired after the woman. And one said, Is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?
So he was looking at and admiring Uriah's wife, Bathsheba, right? Read.
And David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him, and he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned unto her house.
So he took her and he laid with her. He was emotional, man. That's an emotional thing to do, to take somebody's wife and lay with her. Even as a king, man, that's a very emotional thing to do, man. You gonna take somebody's wife and lay with her. Come on, man. Read.
And the woman conceived and sent and told David, and said, I am with child. And David sent to Joab, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David.
Stop. So he got her impregnated. He impregnated Bathsheba. Now you finish see how emotional David get behind this, right? Read.
And when Uriah was come unto him, David demanded of him how Joab did, and how the people did, and how the war prospered. And David said to Uriah, go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king.
Read.
But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. And when they had told David, saying, Uriah went not down unto his house, David said unto Uriah, camest thou not from thy journey? Why then didst thou not go down unto thine house?
So why you ain't go down to the house? Because at this point, he's trying to cover up him sleeping with his wife, Bathsheba. He's trying to cover it up. Like, hey, man, go down there because I've been down there. I didn't impregnate her. He ain't tell her that, but this is what's going on in his head. He's being emotional. He's trying to cover it up. Read.
And Uriah said unto David, the ark and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go into mine house to eat and to drink and to lie with my wife? As thou livest, and as thy soul liveth, I will not do this thing.
So he's saying, hey, I'm not finna leave the army and, man, go lay with my wife. You understand? So on your own time, just read the whole story if you don't know the story. But David put Uriah on the front line, had him killed. Okay? He had him killed. So if David committed adultery, he also murdered. He was doing all kinds of wickedness. He also had Uriah murdered. He was very emotional. I'm just showing you, mighty men get emotional and do some things that's off the wall. Okay? He was very emotional. You read the story about what he went through and everything. When he caught hell, the Most High jacked him up real bad, judged him, and he also forgave him. Okay? So, I'm just showing you that we get emotional, we can go off. You understand? Okay, let's move on a little further. Exodus 34, verse 14. I'm going to show you some of God's emotion. I'm going to show you some of the Most High God's emotions. Right? Try to keep it under an hour.
So Exodus what?
Exodus 34:14.
The book of Exodus, chapter 34, verse 14. For thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord, whose name is jealous.
Is who?
Whose name is jealous.
Jealousy is emotional. When you jealous, that's an emotional thing that you feel. It's a spiritual thing. Okay? We're going to also bring that out. You get the spirit of jealousy. If you got that over your wife, what you can do in these days, back in biblical times, you can turn her into the priest. Just by having a spirit of jealousy. So you can, being jealous is a emotion. You can get emotional through your jealousy, right? Read.
All right. Yeah, whose name is jealous is a jealous God.
Is a jealous God. I'm just showing you that God is a jealous God. He's emotional. You understand? Give me Exodus 15, verse 3. You got it, Zion? Read it. Exodus 15, verse 3.
All right, Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. The Lord is a man of war.
Is a man of who?
Is a man of war.
The Lord is a man of war. He's a man of war. So dealing with war, man, you gotta be emotional to even go to war. All right, you gotta get into that emotion of war. That means you finna go kill. When he come back, it's gonna be blood up to a horse's bridle. He's gonna be drenched in his garment of blood, like he walked the wine press, right? Like he been in a wine press. That's how much blood he gonna have on him. I'm showing you that the Lord is a man of war, and he deal with emotions. Why? We created in his image. Okay, so we got a lot of the same traits in our flesh that he have in his celestial body, which is spiritual. Never forget that, right? You got to contain your emotions, true. But nevertheless, we are emotional beings. You understand? Never forget that, right? Give me Exodus 20, verse 5. It's going to go down to, Shalom, you got it? Read it.
The book of Exodus chapter 20, verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, thy God, am a jealous God.
Is a what?
Am a jealous God.
It's a jealous guy. You keep telling, hey man, I'm jealous. Why you so jealous? You know your women tell you that. Why you acting so jealous? Why you so emotional? Where do you think we get it from? That's why your wife's supposed to do what you tell her to do. She's supposed to reverence, respect, honor you. She's supposed to obey you, right? Because he know that he created us in his image, and we are jealous just like him. We can get jealous. It's easy for us to get jealous. Right? Continue.
All right. For I, the Lord, thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Exactly. Okay. We're gonna just walk it on down a little bit more. Give me Deuteronomy 6:15. All right. Yes, you know, emotional is something we all have, men and women, being emotional. It's how you deal with your emotions. That's the key. That's the key, right? You got that. Read it.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 15. For the Lord thy God is a jealous God among you, lest the anger of the Lord thy God be kindled against thee and destroy thee from off the face of the earth.
He keeps saying he's jealous. He get angry. He'll destroy you from the face of this earth. You know how somebody make you mad and you just be like, oh. It happens, man. You get pissed off. It happens. Okay? But we gotta, you know, you be angry but sin not. We're gonna get that in a minute. You understand? Let's move on a little further. Jump to Deuteronomy 4:24.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 24.
Uh-huh.
For the Lord thy God is a consuming fire.
Is a what?
For the Lord thy God is a consuming fire.
It's a consuming fire.
Even a jealous God.
Even a jealous guy. Read it from the top again.
For the Lord thy God is a consuming fire. Even a jealous God.
Even a jealous God. You understand? He's a consuming fire. That means, hey, he gonna get you, man. Especially in that time appointed. When he bring Babylon down, spiritual Egypt, he's gonna bring it down in fire. That's what he gonna do. All right. So I'm showing you that the Most High God can get emotional. He can get emotional. Give me Isaiah 65 verse 1. Isaiah 65 verse 1. Whoever got it first, read it.
The book of Isaiah chapter 65 verse 1. I am sought of them that asked not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, unto a nation that was not called by my name.
Read.
I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people.
Stop. So just imagine the Lord spreading his hands out to rebellious people. You put your hand out there and they just keep slapping the Most High hands. He gonna get emotional, right? Read.
I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts.
You after your own thoughts. That's our people. Pretty much summed up in a nutshell, especially, chiefly the 2/3, mainly the 2/3. Right? Read.
A people that provoketh me to anger continually.
Stop. Our people provoke God continually, right? To anger. Anger is what? An emotion, right? Read.
A people that provoketh me to anger continually, to my face.
To my face. Just imagine somebody keep provoking you to your face. He's just going to build up and build up and build up. Then he's going to judge you. Or he's going to save you for the judgment at the end. Either way, you're going to get judged if you don't repent. Right? Read.
All right. A people that provoketh me to anger continually to my face, that sacrificeth in gardens and burneth incense upon altars of brick.
Read.
Which remain among the graves and lodge in the mountains, which eat swine's flesh.
Lodge in the monuments.
My bad. Monuments, which eat swine's flesh and broth of abominable things in their vessels.
Stop. Abominable things is in their vessels. That's what they doing. They eating these things, the broth. So that's pissing the Most High off, right? Read.
Which say, stand by thyself, come not near to me, for I am holier than thou. These are a smoke in my nose.
These are what?
These are a smoke in my nose.
Read.
A fire that burneth all the day.
Stop. So that's aggravating to the Most High. He called it a smoke up his nose. Don't you know how that feels? Somebody putting smoke up your nose. And you know the Lord don't smoke. The Most High is not a smoker. So it's aggravating him, right? Read.
Right. Behold, these are a smoke in my nose, a fire that burneth all the day. Behold, it is written before me, I will not keep silence, but will recompense, even recompense into their bosom.
Stop. He's going to pay them back. He said, I ain't going to keep silent. I will not keep silent. He's going to get very, very emotional. You think he emotional when you getting jacked up out here, when you going through your trials. This day, he going to really bring it down on you. He's going to get very, very emotional and pass out judgment. So you see, Christ don't have a sin in the body. What'd he do? He ain't sin in the flesh. He got what? He got emotional. We're going to bring that out. We're going to bring that out. I skipped that. Let's bring that out. Give me Matthew 21, verse 10. Matthew 21, verse 10. Let me show you what Christ did. I almost forgot. Let's bring that out. Matthew 21, verse 10.
The book of Matthew, chapter 21, and verse 10. And when he was coming to Jerusalem, all the city was moved, saying, Who is this? And the multitude said, This is Jesus, the prophet of Nazareth of Galilee. And Jesus went into the temple of God and cast out all of them that sold and bought in the temple.
Stop. He cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple. Read.
And overthrew the tables of the money changers,
Read.
and the seats of them that sold doves.
Read it from the top again.
And Jesus went into the temple of God and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple.
So they was in there selling and buying in the temple. You know, this is the holy place when you keep the Sabbath at. Right? So they buying and selling in the temple. Read.
And overthrew the tables of the money changers.
So that's like me grabbing this table and then flipping it. Ah! Yes. Our black Messiah, Yahweh Shai, rode in that spirit in the flesh. Was it righteous or was it unrighteous? It was righteous because he didn't sin at one time in the body, in his flesh. He was perfect. So when he got pissed off, he threw a temper tantrum and flipped the table. That's another thing. Oh, you emotional. You throwing a tantrum. Christ moved furniture. Christ moved furniture. Read.
And overthrew the tables of money changers and the seats of them that sold doves.
In the seats of them that sold doves. He wasn't playing with them. You understand? Read.
And said unto them, It is written, My house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves.
He made it a den of thieves. He said, man, I'm not going for that. So, what brothers can do? What brothers do here? Get mad. Sometimes it takes to move a little furniture to get your point across in righteousness. You just don't let people do what the hell they want to do. You got to correct people, rebuke people. Sometimes it might take a little bit of moving the furniture to get your point across. You understand? Okay, let's move on. Let's go back. So this shows you Christ in the flesh got emotional. Threw a tantrum right here. These things happen. You understand? So let's go to Ephesians 4, verse 26. We got a couple more. We had 57 minutes. Ephesians 4. Verse 26. Whoever got it first.
I got it.
Read it.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
Start from the top again.
Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
Hey, be ye angry and sin not. Okay, you can be mad. That's emotional. But sin not. Read.
Neither give place to the devil. Keep going.
Start from the top with 26 again.
All right. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
Don't let the sun go down upon your wrath. Don't die in your anger. It's not good to go to sleep in your anger. You understand? Continue.
Neither give place to the devil.
Neither give place to the devil. All right? So it's not about being emotional, not being emotional, right? It's about sin. Don't sin. Don't give place to the devil. Don't give place to the devil. You understand? Give me Galatians 5, verse 19.
The book of Galatians chapter 5 verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness.
Uh-huh.
Want me to keep reading?
Yeah, keep going.
Idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
So those are the things that you're not going to be able, that you can't do to enter into the kingdom. You understand? So it's people out here that carry those traits, and those are emotional traits. You got to watch those, brothers and sisters. Now give me the fruits of the Spirit.
All right, Galatians 5:22.
Yeah, just a couple verses up.
Verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
Read it again.
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
Stop. Those are all emotions. Those are good emotions. So you be emotional in that way. All right. Those are good emotions, and you can be either or, because we all carry those traits. You see yourself getting out of line, pull yourself together. Pull yourself together, but I'm showing you that these emotions are from the Most High. And we all get mad, and being emotional can be a good thing, and it can be a bad thing if it causes you to sin. Okay? But I'm just showing you mighty men in the Bible that go do these things. All right, give me Ecclesiastes 3. We're going to start at verse 1. This is going to be my last one.
All right.
Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1.
Start it.
Yep.
The book of Ecclesiasticus.
Ecclesiastes.
My bad.
Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1. Zion, you got it?
Yep.
You got to read it.
All right. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven.
So everything have a season, and it's a time and a purpose. You understand? Read.
A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
Read.
A time to kill and a time to heal, and a time to break down and a time to build up.
Stop. So these are some of the emotions that plagues us, that we go through, but there's time for these things. Okay, it's a time to be born, and it's a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, right? A time to break down and a time to build up. So what we do, and when we rebuke him, we'll break you down. But at the end of the day, we'll build you up. Okay? You got to practice that too in your households. If you're breaking them down scripturally, you got to build them back up scripturally. You arguing and things like that, don't let the sun go down your anger. Build your family back up. But they should understand what love is, and that is the keeping of commandments. Okay? 1 John 5 and 3, John 14, 15. You understand? Read.
A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance.
Those are all emotions. Those are all emotions. Weeping, laughing, dancing. Those emotions, man. Read.
A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing.
It's a time when you embrace your loved ones, and it's a time when you don't embrace. Man, let one of my kids go off. We don't deal in Israel with unconditional love. We ain't going to embrace. Okay? With some, you supposed to just love me anyway. That is not scriptural. That's not scriptural. Read.
A time to get and a time to lose. There's
going to be a time to get and time to lose. You might lose things in this walk. Okay? You're going to get things. It's a time to lose things, right? Read.
A time to keep and a time to cast away. A time to rend and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak.
It's a time for all these things, and all these are emotions, right? You either hold them or you bring them out. You understand? Read.
A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace.
So all these are emotions. You are what? Being emotional. But you got to deal righteously within the time of these things appointed. Right? Read.
What profit hath he that worketh, and that wherein he laboreth?
Okay, so that's what we got to do, brothers and sisters, man. You know, be angry, sin not. It's time and place for everything. Okay? When you're rebuking, hey, there's nothing wrong with lifting up your voice like a trumpet. When you're correcting, you got to rebuke them. You got to do these things. Why? Because it's love. Okay? So, emotional men, untouchable women. This is the first segment I do, untouchable women, next Sabbath. And, man, I hope this video was edifying. I hope it strengthened your walk. Hey, man, let's control our emotions. But being emotional is not a bad thing in all cases. All right, pick your battles. You understand? So, we're going to be up out of here. Happy Sabbath. And remember, don't shoot. I am only the messenger. Shalom.
That was good.